The Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality around Gqeberha urging all water users within the city to reduce the amount of water they're using immediately, as water disruptions have started to affect several suburbs as a result of the ongoing drought. The city's dams are still declining at an alarming rate. There's a total of 14.9% water from major storage dams around the city. Our reporter Siphosethu Booi joins us now. Siphosethu, good afternoon to you. How serious is the situation?
Good afternoon to you, Stephen, and to the rest of our viewers. We are at a very critical position as residents of Nelson Mandela Bay, and the weather is not making it any easy, Stephen, because I believe the last time we actually experienced some heavy rains was about 2 weeks ago, but that also didn't result to good numbers as far as the percentages in the dams are concerned. But to give us a bit of a background in terms of where we stand as far as all the other dams are concerned, and also including the fact that we are, of course, plus minus 2 or a week just before the schools reopen, how that is also going to impact the learners in the city, including areas of KwaNobuhle, as of course Nelson Mandela Bay is a complex city. Mr. Joseph Tsatsir joins me now. Mr. Tsatsir, thank you very much for your time, and I think the many residents, including the rest of the country, is also quite concerned about the issue of our reservoirs now running dry in Nelson Mandela Bay. Please just take us through some of the areas that are already experiencing water disruptions in the area of Nelson Mandela Bay.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. And I think to put things into context, I think the metro has been experiencing drought for the past 7 years or so. And we are at a point where, most of the residents are suffering drought fatigue. Our messages are not penetrating through to the communities. But as we speak currently, our dam continues to decline in terms of levels. We are currently sitting at 14.59%. And it means that, the usable water is just under 5%. We are in a very, very critical position at this point in time, and I think we are urging residents to use water sparingly.
Some areas don't have water, phase 2 in KwaNobuhle is one of the areas that has been experiencing water shortages. What is then going to be the plan with regards to certain informal settlements who already don't have water and who are still trying to make ends meet with regards to the issue of water trucks being dispatched to their areas? How is the implementation plan with regards to the issue of making sure that water trucks will be available in those areas that are already facing water scarcity, Mr. Tsatsir?
Yeah. So you are right. Some of the areas do not have water currently as we speak, and some of the areas in Kariega dispatch as well, and possibly to the western areas. We are continuing to experience intermittent supply because time and again, because of demand increasing, we actually don't have enough water to give everybody. So henceforth, we are saying that people must reduce consumption for us to be able to meet our available demand. But again, we have got a contingency plan whereby we're going to actually, truck water to areas that are affected. Mostly in KwaNobuhle area 11, as you have mentioned, the issue has not been actually shortage of water. Most of the reservoirs in that area has got water, but obviously it's informal settlements. We actually needed to install additional standpipes for people to be able to get water. But I think in some of the areas, the whole city as well, we have got a contingency plan whereby we're going to actually erect we have erected mostly what we call collection points. These are standpipes that we probably have seen them in some of your coverages, whereby they are in the bulk or in the artery of our reticulation system. We're going to actually then have to isolate most of the residential connections and ensure that people are going to go and collect water from those points. And this is basically to provide basic water to our residents up until such time we have got enough rainfall in the city. But there's been quite another interventions as well which we've done. We have done quite a number of boreholes. Some of them are coming to stream, and they're going to go a long way in actually ensuring that we have got more water into the system. In total, plus or minus 30 megalitres of water going to be added from our groundwater, and this will ensure that at least we have got basic consumption for people going forward.
Speaking about those boreholes, there's so many of them in and around the areas of Warmer, I know, and some areas in and around Nelson Mandela Bay, especially at the suburb areas. Speaking on the issue of course, having holiday makers still in Gqeberha, will this not have an impact, a negative impact on the issue of tourism and the economy of Nelson Mandela Bay if this issue of water is not attended to with plans that are quite immediate and in a hurry, so that this issue can be sorted out?
Yeah, obviously, I think the city has experienced quite a number of visitors, over our holiday season, and I think, it has actually given a boost for our tourism. But unfortunately, obviously, it comes with higher consumption, and I think equally as well, we had packaged messages to our visitors that they must actually use water, prudently to ensure that, we have got a sustainable holidays as well as, sustainable living after the holidays.
My last question to you, Mr. Siphosethu, would be the issue of water leaks. Many residents are still complaining about the issue of water leaks. The leaks are being attended to. In some cases, nothing has been done about those areas that have been reporting water leaks. What is the plan with making sure that these water leaks are actually attended to?
Okay, the Metro has actually increased, resources, to deal with leaks. Since last year, around June, we have actually employed the service of external service providers to augment our internal teams, and we are actually doing a turnaround of plus or minus 3 days for every leak that has been reported. And I think we'll continue to deploy more resources and ensure that we actually reduce artificial consumption as a result of leakages. But again, leakages is part of what we do on a day-to-day basis. Because of old infrastructure, we also have got interventions where we are replacing old infrastructure to ensure that it's not prone to leaks.
Mr. Joseph Tsitsiri, thank you very much for your time, Sir. Stephen, that was Mr. Joseph Tsitsiri, the Water Distribution Director. And currently, Stephen, there's one particular dam that's really just lost a lot amount of water. We're sitting at 7.26%, and that's the Impofu Dam. Since 1983, that particular dam has never recorded such a low level of water distribution for the residents of Nelson Mandela Bay. So where we stand currently, we do need a bit of rainfall as far as the Metro is concerned to try and also curb the issue of these dam levels also running dry, which will cause many residents of Nelson Mandela Bay to now have to pay for water trucks, or rather for their businesses to operate, as far as also just making sure that they do meet the municipality halfway with regards to the issue of water. Considering the fact that schools will be opening next week, this will also put a strain on parents to make sure that they do take their kids to school with a bottle of water for them to get access to water, and the issue of the ablution toilets, considering the fact that they'll be going back to school next week. So Nelson Mandela Bay Municipality will keep watch as far as this developments of the water crisis and drought is mitigated. Stephen.
Siphosethu Booi, thank you very much indeed. Just shows you the difficulty that such an intense drought that we've seen in that part of the country. An international